Hi, welcome back to today's video. Today's video is going to be I'm kind of like talking from this experience that I've had or experience that I've been through. So I have the habit of always saying, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. Oh my God, no, I'm scared. Like that type of a thing with anything. Like, take this last video that I did with like the fashion show. I was like, I'm so scared. But it was like stemmed in excitement. So that's like a big factor with things. Like, is your nerves nervousness stemmed with excitement or fear? And here's why, like, I think it's really important to distinguish the two. And it'll kind of push you to be heading in the right direction with like your goals and such, right? So, by the way, I'm drinking a matcha today. It's really pretty. It's a really nice green shade. Trader Joe's matcha. Delicious. That's what's keeping me yappy today. Let's go. So, I've always been a nervous girl, which is funny because when I would I'm talking like from my early memories of elementary school. TMI, if you get grossed out with, fast forward. So, every first day of school from like, I started school in kindergarten. I didn't go to preschool. I'm sure you could probably tell. Versus my brother, he went to preschool and he's like way more social and like out there than I am. So, first day of school, I would throw up because I was so scared. I had so many feelings. I guess I didn't know how to process them and I would just vomit. I was that kid. If you have any, I don't have any memories of like kids throwing up because I was the kid throwing up. Yeah, so that's my embarrassing fact of the day. So I was always very nervous. I think like I stopped maybe senior year of high school is when I was like, okay, I think I'm okay. So it took me like 12 years. So anyways, I've always been a very nervous, anxious girl. Thankfully, I've had waves of like, oh, I'm fine, or like, oh my gosh, I feel horrible, like always nauseous, you know? I think a lot of it too stemmed with just like over caffeination. I was like, but then again, it kind of stems into my health because I was always tired. So I was like, okay, I started drinking coffee way too early because I was always tired. Or I would always have like a sip of my mom's like energy drink. Or I wasn't much of like, no, I did like green tea. So yeah, I was over caffeinated because I was tired and then just understimulated. So my mind was just like constantly going. And I'm always thinking of like the next step. I'm always like one step ahead of everything because that's just how I think. So it can really work in your favor if you're like always ahead of like thinking of what you're doing. Or it could be like your exact downfall if you're just like thinking of always what's ahead and instead of living in the moment. It's a happy medium. So it's funny because like I said, it goes in waves. The older I got, the less anxious I got, truth be told. I kind of became like numb to it. So I'm not sure if that's any better or worse. However, I feel like as soon as I distinguished like, am I excited or like freaked out? And that kind of, you listen to your, like I say, like your little person inside of you will tell you the truth. That being your conscience, you know. And if you want to get like religious, spiritual, whatever, it could be like the voice of God, whatever you want to call it. I don't like getting too like black and white on here because everyone's religion is valid, I feel, and whatever you want to believe in is what you want to believe in, not me, because that will just like, that's a whole nother rabbit hole we don't need to go under. So how how I like distinguished what I was feeling being fear or like excitement based was like, take this last example that I went through, the fashion show thing. I felt scared. I was scared, but I knew it was stemmed in excitement because it was something that I knew I needed to do in order to, I guess, unlock a next level of my, I guess, confidence, you can say. So I knew it was like a step that I needed to take forward, but I was unaware of how it was gonna go because I've never been through something like that. Versus something else, like another example that I've been through, like a relationship with a certain person, and I would feel scared. Was it really stemmed in excitement? No, because I was fearful. I was fearful of this person and how they were going to react in certain situations. I was fearful that I was going to be in danger. That's a fearful scared, and that's like your conscience telling you like, oh, my light's flickering, sorry. Oh my god, I'm scared. What if, see, that's fearful because I'm scared. What if there's a ghost? Okay, so you tend to get you're in fear, and your conscience is telling you like, yo, red flag, do you not see it? That's why you get anxious and freaked out. You feel nauseous. It's your body literally telling you a red flag is like, my laundry's done, telling you that a red flag is right in front of your face. It's up to, I mean, you could do like the whole DW meme and like, I can't read, and that's totally fine. I mean, I've done it, whatever. But it's just, you know, helpful tips along the way to make your life a little easier and a little more fun, worth living, instead of living in like nerves, you know? So I've had experiences where I'm like in a normal setting, but I still feel like fearful. So I've been like, for instance, hanging out with friends, and we're not doing anything bad, like textbook bad, like, I don't know, stealing. But it's just their energy is off and it's not vibing with mine. And I would feel scared out of fear to hang out with them. And I would like manipulate myself, I guess, and like, no, you're being weird, just like, don't do that. These are your friends. Get over it. But in the end, I would still feel like nauseous, or just my gut would not be happy with me, basically. And looking back at it now, it was like clearly a red flag that I was just ignoring. But I guess the moral of this video is just like, it's a good idea whenever you're feeling scared or nervous or whatever you want to call it. Is it rooted in fear or is it rooted in like excitement? And that'll kind of help you play out your next move. Like, okay, I'm scared but it's excited, this is a good thing. Or I'm scared but I'm fearful, let's take a step back and kind of see what's going on. You get me? I hope that makes sense. It's kind of hot in my room, so I'm going to keep this video probably shorter than usual. Or maybe the same amount. It's like 9 minutes. Good job. I know it, for me, like, it totally helped to like not feed into my anxiety. Again, everyone's different. I'm just talking about like things and situations I've been through. I've always like tried to, I guess, go to the root of the problem and see, as an older person now, like if I'm talking about like my early 20s, olvídate, it was not, I was like, what am I even doing? I'm like, none of it was making sense. It just was like, I'd be anxious, nervous, nauseous, don't eat, over caffeinate. It was just like a horrible little hamster wheel that was just going on. And now obviously like I'm grown and I know what I'm doing a little bit better than I did when I was in my early 20s. I just try not to feed into it. If like I feel myself like spiraling into like an anxious episode, I know like to take a step back and kind of look at the bigger picture. Like, is it me that is making this more bigger than it should be, or is it like really a big deal? And thankfully I do have like a really supportive partner that, I hate saying partner sometimes, sorry, I have a really supportive husband that is like, and family and just loved ones in general that don't gaslight me or anything and just make things worse. So they're very helpful in that sense and like help me feel better, I guess you could say. Basically just not feed into like, yeah, you're anxious, oh my god, you're anxious, feel worse. Because I've been with people like that and it's like just not, well, not a good recipe for me. But I think that's all I kind of wanted to say. It was just my little tip for figuring out if you're basically fearful or excited. I hope that helps, because it helped me. I'll see you guys next time. And I think that's it. Yeah. Bye.